McCoy.
Good to be here.
Co-founder of Pierce McCoy, a boutique legal shop here in downtown Norfolk, and alum of Regent University's law school. Gabe, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so I just got a brand new contract with a client. Do I need paperwork?
Every time. Very simple.
Every time.
Every time.
Can I do it myself, or do I have to? Can I get a template from you?
So even if you don't have a written document, you have a contract. The problem is what's not in the agreement. If you have a handshake deal, chances are, most of the time, you could still sue on it if it goes bad. But that written document is really going to give you a leg up if something goes south. So you definitely need a contract in writing.
What type of things should I be looking at as a business owner with a new customer that I should make sure is in this contract?
Here's something that's more psychological. Don't be afraid to send them a written document. Mm-hmm. I understand you want to develop a rapport and a relationship with that customer, and that client's important to your business. Don't think by sending them a contract in writing that you're somehow offending them or you're starting it off on a wrong foot. I think that's a misconception that I see too often. It leads to problems.
And a contract's like a master service agreement, or?
In certain context. I mean, the contract is 75-80% the same no matter what. It's that tailored individual part that is, relating to what you're providing them, when they're paying you, how much, things like that.
I read somewhere online that a very high percentage, 70, 80, 90% of online contracts that are downloaded and used in these cases are the ones that are kind of fought against in a court of law. Right.
Right. If I think a business attorney's job is to make sure there's no ambiguities. I had a law professor, never forget, he compared it to an MMA fight where you never want to let it go to the judge. If there's holes, if there's ambiguity, there's confusion, and it goes to a judge, you might as well flip a coin half the time. It's the role of the contract is to avoid confusion. Far too often, online templates, contracts that you can pull off of Google and other various online services that are trying to use a one-size-fits-all agreement. There's going to be too many holes that aren't necessarily filled for your business.
How can I hack that as someone who doesn't have a lot of money, but I know I need the paperwork because I have a very small percentage of profit, to make sure that those holes I can limit when looking at that agreement?
Well, I think that the person who can best fill that hole is an attorney. I mean,
so maybe pay them once and then say...
Sure, we have clients come in, they say, hey, I need a contract for my customers, for my users. I need something that's flexible, that's covers 98% of the terms, and I'm willing to pay X to get it. There's a couple of online providers that do services. Selfishly do a plug for Briefcase. It's a new startup in town. I'm a part of that team. That's exciting.
Heard about it.
You heard about it. But I would still say, even with that in mind, an attorney who's a business attorney, a corporate attorney drafting that's going to do the best job.
All right, a contract's a contract, and let's just say it's perfect, but something in that contract doesn't happen. So
right.
The person says that they're going to do work and this person's going to pay for it, and one of those things doesn't happen. So you have a contract, it doesn't matter if you're not going to do the follow-up and make sure that it's right.
Sure.
What does someone do in that case?
I think in that case they have to have a dialogue. You have to reach out to them and say, look, here's the agreement we have. If the contract's well written, there's going to be some really large repercussions if it has to go to court. If it goes to court, it's going to be expensive. It's going to be really, more often than not, a waste of time. But I think you just need to have open dialogue. And as long as there's communication, that's kind of part of good business.
Does it matter who the lawyer is at the paperwork, even if it's great, that the lawyer in court can win anyway?
When you go to court, you never know what can happen, even with a well-drafted contract. That's why our job exists. So
like an MMA fight.
It's an MMA fight. You want to go to court. You're eventually, somebody's not going to pay you. Someone's going to breach. It's a given. It's guaranteed. You want to make sure that the contract you have is set up for having the least amount of confusion, so that you know where you're going to end up. Predictability helps keep costs down.
How do lawyers learn how to be so persuasive?
They go to Regent Law and they're well trained.
Good answer. Be careful as you're putting together your business.
That's right. Do it the right way.
Do it
It'll
the right
save
way.
you money in the long run.
Gabe McCoy, thank you so much.
Thanks, Zach.
That wraps up another edition of Hampton Roads Business Weekly. Like us on Facebook and Instagram at HR Business Weekly.
There, you will find segments from previous shows, plus some great behind-the-scenes pictures and videos. For Hampton Roads Business Weekly, I'm Zack Miller.
And I'm Cheryl Tan. We'll see you next week.
Hampton Roads Business Weekly, sponsored by Regent University and produced by ABC 13.